What's up, guys, and welcome. Today's video will be a little bit different. Today I'm just going to recap some Christmas stuff, talk about some Christmas memories and things like that. You'll probably hear Noah throughout the video. He's over here with Tracy. We're trying to get him asleep a little bit, and he's being a little restless. He's not too crazy or anything, but if you don't want to watch an episode like this, fully understandable, that's fine. X off the video, and tomorrow we'll be back to normal. I just wanted to spend today with Tracy, which I didn't do as much as I should have, and Noah, because it's our first Christmas together as a family, so I didn't really vlog that much. I actually vlogged a little bit this morning, and then I said, you know what, I'm not going to do anything like that just because let's have a Christmas together. And then my buddy Evan from Japan, he actually came in, so I spent some time with him, because I hadn't seen him in a few months. So I hung out with him, and then my sister came over, and she's getting ready to go back to Fredericksburg. So today was just a real personal day with a bunch of people, and I thought that I would just leave the camera off and just hang out and stuff like that. Now Evan will be in the vlogs later on this week because he's in until the 3rd. So yeah. So anyway, if you don't want to see any kind of episode like this, which you've already probably X'd off, but just X off and come back tomorrow, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. Christmas is an awesome time of year, and the older I get, the more I enjoy it. When I was younger, I wasn't really a huge fan of it, simply because my mom and my dad weren't together, and that made it stressful on me. And I'm not blaming my parents or anything like that. Like, obviously, I mean, it's all out of control, but just like, to me, like, I'm such a family-oriented person, and I guess depending on who you talk to, they may signify otherwise, but Pablo's jumping in Noah's crib again.
If you want to get him out,
but from where I was split between two different families, and like I said, I'm a family-oriented person, but having to go between two families and not feel like I got to spend enough time with either one was kind of tough on me. And obviously I did get to spend plenty of time with them. A lot of times I would go to my grandmother's in the day and hang out with like my mom's side of the family, which is the Seabolt side, and then in the evening I would go to my dad's and we would hang out there, and I would a lot of times stay the night into the next day, and so I would see the Baker side of the family and like my stepmom's family and stuff like that. So it worked out pretty well, but it was still kind of stressful on me, or at least I think it was. At my grandmother's, it was usually, like I said, it was the Seabolt side of the family, like my uncles and aunts and cousins and all that stuff. We would all come in and we'd hang out. We would eat and exchange gifts, and I can remember sitting on the floor, and I mean, just paper strewn. Strewn, is that the correct word? It is. Tracy, of course. Strewn out. Strewn out? Strewn about. Anyway, stuff all over the floor, and just opening gifts and all kinds of crazy stuff, and, you know, getting money, and it was just an awesome time. And I was fortunate enough to have plenty of cousins, and we could play. Like, my cousins aren't that much different in age than me. I do have some older cousins, and there's a little bit more of an age gap, but not super crazy. And then I have some younger cousins, like my cousin Sarah and Kristen, who are what are they, like maybe 5 and 10 years younger than me? 10, maybe crazy. I'm trying to think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is, we were close enough an age where we could play and stuff like that, so it was super fun. One of my favorite memories of Christmas is then when I would go to my dad's and we would do a white elephant gift exchange. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's where you'd buy, or I'm sorry, it wasn't a white elephant. We called it, they called it gag gift, but it's the same thing as a white elephant. You can, most of the time you would buy a gag gift, so you would buy, I don't know, a bottle of shampoo, or like, I mean, I guess that's not really super useless, but you'd buy kind of useless things, you know what I mean? Little gag gifts, maybe joke stuff, like, I don't know, glasses with spring eyeballs that popped out or something like that. You'd wrap them and you'd put them in a pile and you'd put your name on it, and then you would draw numbers, and the person who drew, you would draw, say, 1 through 9, and then the first person would draw, and then it'd circle back around, the first person had the opportunity to change, and we would do that, and I have a lot of really, really good memories of doing that. Another fond memory I have, specifically at my dad's house, is they would always go really far to keep the realism of Santa. I can remember my dad telling me that I had to go to sleep, and because Santa wouldn't come, you know, unless I was asleep and stuff like that. And I can remember waking up, and they would, you know, there would be deer tracks on the porch and stuff like that, and it was a really, really cool time. I really, even though it was kind of stressful on me as a kid, just splitting time between two families. You know, it was stressful for me, but it was such good times. You know, I really enjoyed it. Which now we kind of do same kind of things, but now it's with grandkids. Not particularly Noah just yet because he was just born, but we still go to my grandmother's. But now it's like my brother and sister's kids, and then my cousin's kids, like my older cousin's kids, and gift exchange and paper everywhere and stuff like that. And which I haven't been the last few years to my dad's on Christmas Eve, but normally would still go to dad's. And they don't do the gag gift anymore, but we still just hang around, and it's usually my dad and my stepmom and her sister and brother and her mom, and then my stepbrother on my dad's side named Justin, and we usually just hang out and eat and have a good time. And so I mean, we still keep a lot of the same things going on. It's just, you know, we're not kids anymore, I guess, is the point that I'm making there. I feel like I'm rambling. And then the other thing that we usually do on Christmas now, which I didn't do this year, again, because of Noah, but in the mornings, I'll go to my brother's house, Adam, and we'll hang out with Ada and Evie, which is his two daughters, and they'll open presents. And I don't know, Christmas, I think the reason that I like Christmas so much is, even though it may seem weird, and I know some people may disagree and stuff, but I'm just such a family-oriented person. I love Tracy. I'm going to say this, and she's going to get irritated with me saying this. Tracy gets mad. She doesn't get mad, but like when I go to family gatherings, I want to stay forever. Like, and Tracy, it's not that she doesn't, but Tracy's like, dude, we've been here for like 6 hours. We need to go. But I just like hanging around family. I don't know. I always have, and I think that's why I like Christmas time so much, is because you see people that you don't during the year. I mean, you see them at some family gatherings, but like Christmas, everybody comes in. Like I have a cousin specifically that lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, which she isn't here particularly right now, but she came in during the Christmas season so we could see her. You know, I mean, stuff like that. Like I've always been family oriented, or loved hanging around my family, and I think that's why I love Christmas so much. Another fond memory I have is me and my dad would always go to Georgia. My dad's birthday is December 27th. And when I was younger, up until I was, I don't know, sometime in high school, maybe 9th grade, we would go. I have a sister that lives in Georgia. She lived in Ackworth for a while, and then I think she lives in Canton now, maybe somewhere in Georgia. It's like 45 minutes or an hour outside of Atlanta. But we would go down there and see her. It was on my dad's birthday, and we'd always go down there and get pizza, I remember. But yeah, you know, and going on those trips with my dad to Georgia, that's where I had mentioned in a vlog maybe a couple weeks ago, I think it was around November 19th maybe, when I went to some of my buddy Jimmy's in Bristol, and we did the VR stuff, and I had mentioned my dad had introduced me to putting peanuts in Coke. It was from those trips to Georgia, and so that's even that's Christmas based. So and then Christmas also signifies, I'll never forget, me and Tracy were friends. We started dating in February, but the Christmas before, I don't know if you remember this or not, Trey, but the Christmas before, I actually came from my dad's. I left my dad's that night, and I went and stayed at Trey. I was living on my own. I was living in Bluefield at the time by myself, and Tracy was in an apartment. And I actually went to Tracy's that night and stayed. You remember that, Trey? I went and stayed the night. And I actually stayed the night at Tracy's that Christmas. So really and truly, even though we've only been together 6 years, this is technically our 7th Christmas together, and that's pretty cool. As far as gifts go, I've got a lot of awesome stuff at Christmas. I'll never forget, I remember one year my stepmom bought me a Kindle, or my stepmom and my dad bought me a Kindle. I think it was my stepmom's idea is why I said my stepmom. But anyway, I think they bought me a Kindle, and I remember being super happy about that. One of the other things that I remember is, this was the time I didn't stay at my dad's. My mom had bought me a copy of WCW vs. NWO Revenge for the Nintendo 64, and I remember opening the gift because she put it in a closed box, and I was like, oh god, clothes. Which is funny because now as I'm an adult, I'm like, yay, another shirt, which means I can prolong laundry. But anyway, I remember opening it and being super freaked out, and I was like, yes. And she was like, no, you can't. You know, you gotta go to your dad's. We gotta go to your dad's right now. And I was like, I gotta call dad and tell him I'm gonna be 15 minutes late because I gotta play a match with this. And I remember putting it in and playing it for a couple of minutes, and I don't know, just that excitement as a kid, you know, and that still kind of carries over today. It's a little bit different just because of, you know, beliefs and stuff like that as far as Santa real or not and stuff like that, but it's just, And as I get older, Christmas doesn't quite feel the same, but it still feels good. Like, I remember as a kid, there was this big build-up and like there was this anticipation. And now as an adult, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, it's 8, oh God, okay, well, it's 10 o'clock on Christmas night and it doesn't even feel like Christmas has hit yet. So I think it's because of the weather and stuff like that, but it's still cool. Anyway, I'm rambling. I hope you guys enjoy this. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Christmas. I'm gonna try to edit this the best that I can. I hope that it's not super chaotic. If it is, I apologize. That's just the way that my mind works. Once I start talking, I have 1,000 different things run through it and I try to get all that out. But I just wanted to talk about a few of my fond memories of Christmas, and then, you know, where we are at now. Also, apparently need to learn how to speak. But so yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a super awesome Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had an awesome, what else is there, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, anything that you celebrated, but at any point, I hope you guys had an awesome one. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you had a super awesome holiday and all that stuff. And I hope you guys have a super awesome New Year, which is coming up. Like I said, vlogs will be back to regular tomorrow. I am counting this as an episode because it is an episode, it's just not a traditional episode. But they will be back to standard tomorrow. I just really wanted to talk about Christmas today and enjoy the best Christmas present me and Tracy have ever got in our lives, which is our son Noah. And today was about him hanging out and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.